programs that do your scheduling for you, that schedule for you, and these also have calendars built in. That was a question that Jason asked earlier is, well, you know, do these sync up? So the ones I'm about to show you do sync up, and it is a totally acceptable choice to say, I don't want that extra step of planning in Google Docs. I just want to plan in this. People do it all the time. Okay, so this one is called eClincher. It syncs up. It's free to start a trial. And then here, I'll show you the pricing first. It's free to start a trial and then $49 a month after that. So it is, you know, it's an investment. What I like is, okay, if you're a blogger, if you have blog posts, it could auto post your RSS, so it could pull from your blog automatically. It helps you, so commenting back, responding to other people's comments, and communicating in that way is always going to be the best way to get like a really loyal reader and a really loyal, you know, follower on your site. So eClincher supports that. It's got a really cool inbox where you can go through and, you know, make yourself a note to reply to that, or reply right in eClincher so you can see it all. It also lets you listen, so that's when you're like, oh, this one hashtag really applies to what I'm doing, you know, middle grade Mondays or whatever, declutter Thursdays, I don't know, whatever your thing is, whatever your hashtag is that you really want to dive into, it lets you listen to them, so it lets you see what's happening there. And then, of course, suggested content is super cool, where you can say this is the type of content and it'll pull up these different suggested posts. And you know, that's a really great feature to have, because sometimes you're just a little dry and on the well, and you want to say, well, I have 3 spaces open in my monthly calendar, like what could I post? And then you'd be able to pull up these blog, you know, other people's blog posts, other news articles, etc., that are related to your content. So this is the interface. This is what eClincher looks like. If I wanted to do it to my page, I'm going to say, I'm going to type properly, and I'm going to say, here's my post. This is from eClincher. Oh, I did also want to address the idea that that social media scheduling tools, like all the ones I'm about to show you, reduce your organic reach. And some people really think that they do. Some people are sure that they do. I have run on an author brand that posted at least, I think it was like 2 to 3 times per day. I've run a comparative analysis and literally added up and crunched the numbers. I did not see a drop between the month that I did a whole month using a scheduling tool and a whole month not using a scheduling tool. And I did not see a difference on Facebook or Instagram. So, so that was my experiment. That was it's an anecdotal experiment. It's one person's thing. I don't want to necessarily be sure about it, but if you, the bottom, I think, and this is what I'll always come back to, is if you find a sustainable, successful way to do it for yourself, you're going to be so much more into it and be posting so much more and be communicating with your followers and making new friends online so much more fluidly and fluently than you would be otherwise, than you would be if you had to go in natively and schedule all these different posts and you felt overwhelmed and you felt frustrated about it. So I think, you know, do what works for you, and then it's going to pay off, you know. So that's always my philosophy. But eClincher here is from, you know, this is from eClincher. I can use an image from their free image library, which is pretty cool if I wanted to talk about photography. Let's say I'm talking about photography. So there's my post, and I want to say, you know, taking photos is a great way to communicate. I won't actually post this, guys, so you don't have to be embarrassed on my behalf poor phrasing of that post, but yeah, so here's, it's that easy. You can post now, you can schedule for later. So there's your month of posts. You can see that. Let's schedule it for a week from today, and I'll delete that. Oh, so this is also a cool feature, and I think a lot of programs have this, which is you can say, I want to schedule one post every day during this, you know, let's say during the evening. This says like 8 to 6, but you could say, I want it to be here 4 to 8 p.m. And then I could say, I want it to go 3 different times. Like, I want this post. I want to talk a little bit about how often to post, and I'm going to end with that. But if you wanted to post the same blog post, the same content 3 different times, then this lets you do that just with the click of a button, right? So now it's going to post on the 24th, on the 25th, and on the 26th, all in that window. It's supplied its own time. So it's a cool, it works, right? Now I'm going to say I'm done. But what I do want to do is go to the calendar view. And this goes back to, let's see, let's look at the calendar. I want to look at the month. Okay, so then this goes back to like, okay, so I can absolutely plan my posts here. I can absolutely say, you know, this is what it looks like. Now I've got a nice visual plan. You can, if I want to do a new post here, if I noticed a hole, I can do a new post right from there. And I can say, here's my Mystery Monday post. And I can also save this as a draft. So that would be how I would do this if I were scheduling in my scheduling program. I would save as drafts. Oh, I have to put a date. Sorry, schedule it for Monday the 21st. And then see, it's scheduled that. I want to do it as a draft. So I'm going to go back in and see, save as draft. Okay, great. So I had to add a time and then schedule it as a draft. So there we go. Yeah. Hi. Okay, so that is eClincher, and it's a great tool. It's $49 a month. So that's one possibility. I'm going to pop over to Social Report now. So someone I work with often and really value her opinion. Social Report to her is the only one she's ever going to use again forever. She just loves it. I think it works really well if you have a lot of different things you're posting to, a lot of different channels that you're posting to. Oh, you know what, Jason, I'm going to wait to talk about how you can style the different channels until I'm at Hootsuite, because then I can really dig in, because that's the one I use. So Social Report, again, it's the same price, $49 a month. You get a lot of the same things. This is the search engine where you can, or search agent, excuse me, where you can be tracking a certain hashtag, or you can be tracking blog posts about your subject, which again is so helpful. So yeah, this is a very useful one too. I just wanted to go over the price with that first. Here in the, like, this is, oops, I'm gonna have to log back in. Okay. So for Social Report, to schedule it, you can create these content groups. Let's see, I've used a client's one of this, but I didn't set my own up. So I'm going to say, let's see. Okay. Okay, this is my test message. So this is this gives you a nice preview if you want to share that. I'm gonna stop here with this one because because I don't have a lot of these things pre-programmed in. If anyone's particularly interested in this, or even if you're not, I'll go ahead and show a client's one with the private information blocked out, and I'll follow up with that. I should have populated this before I showed it off, but I will say it works really well. It works in a lot of the same ways. This is cool. Look, Hootsuite doesn't have this, but you can insert an emoji into your stuff if you want to. You of course insert hashtags. I wanted to tag, let's say I wanted to tag somebody. I'm going to tag. I'll spell it properly, and then I will tag. Sorry, doing the typing thing where when someone's watching you, everything you type is wrong. Okay. Okay, there's my buddy. So I'm tagging this person. So, it's a great, easy to use tool. It's nice if you're working with an intern or a VA because you can require approval. So if somebody is setting this up for you, which a lot of people need, like to have help there, then you can require approval, comes to you, and you can approve it or decline it. So that is the social report plan. Buffer is another popular one, and I mainly just want to tell you about these and the pricing. I'm not going to go too deeply into these, but these next three are ones that are popular and okay, so Buffer has free plan. Buffer is great for finding articles. That I know that all of these have this feature, but Buffer is particularly good at finding great articles and letting you save them and then letting you send them out. So if one of your big parts of your brand or parts of your plan, social media plan, is to post articles by someone else, or post articles that you find about your topic, then Buffer is a really good option. And then the Pro plan, of course, is a significantly less than the other ones we looked at. So it's a great one to get started on. Sprout Social is on the other end of things, where the least expensive one is $99 a month. I did want to talk about it because it's got really great, it's known for its amazing analytics. So if you're running something and you're bringing in more people, or you're bringing in more bloggers, or if you're getting bigger, or you're growing and you want to really see what's working and what's not, Sprout Social is a really excellent tool for their analytics. And then Social Baker is another one, or Social Bakers is another one that people are using. This one is known for being simple and for being just easy to use and easy to understand. So this is the $20 a month for theirs, and all these will have a free trial if you want to just get in. And I think I said this at the top of the session, but I'll say it again, that that it's worth the time. If you can set aside an hour to go in and set these trials up and to have one post and just plan it out and play in there, you're going to find the one that you're comfortable with and the features that make the most sense for you. And then you're going to be that much more likely to use it, that much more likely to jump in and understand it. So it's worth that time. Okay, and now I'm going to transition to Hootsuite, which is the one that I use now for my posting. I don't know that I'll use it forever, but I use it now and I really like it. Okay. Come on, pal. We'll refresh. Does anybody have any questions about the other platforms before I kind of take a look at Hootsuite? No. Okay.
Can I tell you before you get started on Hootsuite, the single most confusing thing that I've discovered about it is that you can accidentally create multiple Hootsuite accounts, and then it can be very difficult to merge them.
Actually, that's really, I'm so glad you said that, because that's really important to know that as you are, as you are experimenting, your account can only be owned by like one account at a time. So if you set up an old Hootsuite and you can't log back in, but your Facebook is owned by that account, it's going to be tough. And then, yeah, so I'm glad you said that, because that is true for any of these sites as well. So if you do sort of forget that you had one and then make another one, it's this whole thing where you have to, you know, request permissions and this and that, and you know, so it's not a pleasurable experience. Yeah, sorry, that's happening.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Also, most of these now sync up with Instagram really well. For a long time, nothing synced up with Instagram well, and that was a big bummer. So, and if you're doing stories, Facebook stories and Instagram stories, let's see. I know that they do Instagram stories. Sorry, I started saying Facebook stories, but I'm going to retract on that. I'm going to say this is great for Instagram stories, because when you get an alert, which I'll set up an alert for us, I'm going to choose a great picture. Let's pull one from, what I want to do is show you the entire process. So how it clicks into your cell phone. Let's see. Here I am. Okay. I want to share. Okay, I'm going to share this picture, which okay, this picture is in my downloads file, and I'm just dragging and dropping it. So it's that easy to get your picture into Hootsuite. It lets you post multiple pictures to Facebook or Twitter, but not to Instagram. So each of the ones that I went through are going to have different little quirks like that. I think that Facebook, I think there's a block that doesn't let Instagram, so probably none of these will be able to post a series, you know, when you can scroll through to Instagram, but it will bring the first picture through. So if the pictures are on your phone, you'll be able to add the other ones at the time of posting. Does that make sense? That felt a little confusing coming out, but does that make sense to people? Okay, great.
Isn't it, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I haven't tried the Instagram integration on Hootsuite. However, I believe that it will let you post to Facebook pages, but not your own Facebook profile, for reasons that surprise
Yes,
me.
that's pretty new, absolutely. So I can go in and say I want to add my Facebook page. Yeah, that was a pretty recent change. It was just in the last I think you can post to groups too, I think, which is helpful. If you're Facebook groups are just a really great way to connect with other people that are doing the same thing you are. I really recommend them. So Facebook groups, the fact that it can post to Facebook groups is helpful. Sorry, I'm scrolling down. I got a lot of stuff.
I'm surprised you haven't crashed your
I will someday. I stopped paying for it. If you want to pay for Hootsuite, let me talk about that really quick. So Hootsuite is $29 a month. So it's somewhere in the middle of like Buffer and then the more expensive ones. So it's great, but then you can, you know, like I don't have my LinkedIn in here. I would love to have my LinkedIn attached. So I'm going to choose one to pay for, and I think it's going to be Hootsuite, but I think yeah, you can. I think that Facebook personal profile now has a block. We can check on that because I know they were trying to make it better, but can you post?
It's Facebook's fault. It's not Hootsuite's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. They changed that access. Yeah. So this is from July 2018. Hootsuite will not be able to do any of these things on the profile posts. So, you know what, I'm going to make a note to follow up on if any of the other services that I shared can do that, because that's really important to know for this group. before you're thinking about, you know, investing in one of these. So personal.
But I think you can do a page, right? Just so I'm clear.
Absolutely, it can do a page. Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Oop.
And for business pages too. So this says publish photos directly to Instagram business profiles. So you can set this up to just go. Like it used to be, I'm going to show you the process of what it looks like to get the alert and then go into it, because it's simple to do. But as you should change your Instagram personal to an Instagram business. It doesn't change anything except for you get to see your analytics, and that's great. And then you get to run ads, which is also nice if you want to boost something. So so I think that's a great change to make. And then you can just set this up to directly go. But what it looks like if you don't do that is you schedule when you want it to go. Let's say it's just going to be, it's got auto schedule too, which we kind of looked at on the other programs. What I want to do, so I have to remove the scheduling, and I'm just going to say send now. Okay, so it's going now. And then what happens is, you get an alert on your phone, which I'm waiting for very patiently. Oh. Okay, well, I'll let you know when I get that alert, and then I'll show you what that looks like to just go through the process. But what I really want to show too is that it lets you post to story that way. So if you post to Instagram, oh, here's my alert. Okay, so let's see. Can you see that first alert? It says it's time to publish from Hootsuite. So I'm going to go to that. Just click the link. And then it's just got my photo that I put in and my caption. Great. And then it says open in Instagram. Yes, I am logged into my account. Great. So then here on the bottom, it's got my options of story or feed. So I love this because it just lets you, plan ahead for stories. I mean, that's so, that too, when you're laying out your month, if you can give yourself a prompt for stories, and stories have a feel of kind of fresh, and stories have a feel of kind of spur of the moment. But at the same time, if you can just remind yourself, you know, to post stories, even just a reminder like, hey, do you want in the next few days? It just really, these get so much more organic engagement than sort of a regular post. So yeah, I recommend it. Okay, so Jason, I wanted to spend, or everyone, but Jason had the question about how to do different social media channels in a smart, efficient way, so that you're not, you know, so you're not spending all this time on all these different
right.
posts. Right. Okay. So what I recommend is using Canva, which I've shown you guys, but I'll spend a little bit of time here too. Using Canva, if you can go in, make your design. Let's make your design. Let's say this is a client. Just ignore it, or ignore the content. Okay. So I'm just going to resize this to a square, and let's say this is. This is real big and beautiful. I'm gonna shrink this down. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now so I made my design, and in fact, Canva is an excellent way if you did want to participate in Mystery Monday every single week. Canva is a really great way to keep your brand like looking really specific, right? So you could say, I want all my posts to look like this for this this particular promotion, right? And you could just keep that brand going throughout. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so then here, if you want to resize, so okay, I do absolutely recommend that you size your image appropriately. And I mean, it looks really crazy on, like, if on Facebook your image is cropped so you can't read the words and you can't, it looks crazy. So I just don't recommend it at all. But what you can do is, once you've designed the primary one, like if you think, oh, this is primarily an Instagram, or this is primarily a Pinterest, or this is primarily a Facebook, then what you can do is go to resize and just do so Facebook ad is actually mostly the size that it pulls in for if you have your, oh, it's got Facebook stories. So if I wanted to have this and be a Facebook story too, I can do all that. So Facebook ad is the size that it'll pull in an image ad, like the thumbnail image from your blog post. So then if I go here, I resize it, it takes a couple of clicks to get it looking the way I want it to. In fact, I don't even really feel like I have to do very much with this. Then you export it. What I do is, so that's the image that would go on your blog. That's the image that you would want to pull in from your blog post if that was what you were doing. Otherwise, you can use the square one there. But Twitter will crop it. I mean, this is an example of, like, Twitter will crop it so it looks kind of bad, right? And then sometimes they expand it, but a lot of times they crop it. So just using the appropriate size does make a difference in how it all looks. Once I'm here, I've done the Facebook one, I can resize it for Twitter. Okay, so I'm gonna just say, copy and resize again. Wait for this. Okay, so that's fine with me. I'm gonna download this so I can show you the whole process. And it really only takes a moment. So once you get these things adjusted, just takes a second to export the ones that you're messing with. And I will export, oops, this first one too. Okay, so from Canva, I've exported 3 different image sizes. Now here, I'm gonna say, so if I had Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of these, I could select all of them, right? So I'm gonna select all of these different ones, and I'm gonna type the one with the hashtag. So I'm gonna type the post as I want it with all the hashtags that I want. And I can even do a super long version instead of the Twitter version, right? So I'm gonna do, this is my long post about things, hashtag. And then I'm going to pull in the picture, just the first one. So where are my other ones? Okay, I just have to be on the page for them to actually finish the download. Okay, so here are my files. So I'm gonna load this square one first. You can choose which one you want to load first. And then I'm going to schedule this in advance. So I'm scheduling next Thursday. You guys see a lot of weird posts coming out of my social next Thursday. You'll know that I forgot to go in and adjust these. Okay, so I'm going to schedule these in advance. Then, as they're scheduled, I'm going to do step number 2, which is go into Publisher. So here's Publisher over here. Hootsuite has that tool. I'm going to go to next week. Here's my post. Okay, so now I've got my Twitter and my Instagram. And if I did LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, they would all be here too, right? So imagine you've got 5 different posts for 5 different channels. So then all I want to do here is go in, I'm going to edit this. Okay, pal. Okay, edit this. And then we'll pull up the properly sized picture. And it's going to go to that Twitter account. Yep, that's correct. So I might want to add, so one hashtag that I sometimes use is like authors of Instagram, but since this is going to be my Twitter post, I'm going to use authors of Twitter. So I'm just getting specific with the hashtags for the channel that I'm on. Really quickly, I'm just going to knock that image out. I'm going to load up my new one. Okay, so that's my properly sized image. And then if I want to add a geotag, which, you know, you don't have to, but it certainly helps with visibility in different ways. And then if I want to change the time, because I know that people are reading my tweets in the morning actually, and not the afternoon, I'm going to change this to 9:40 a.m. and then I'm done, right? So then my, this is being very helpful, walking me through everything. So then I'm saving my edits. Now you can go back to the day and you can see, okay, so my morning tweet is set up here. It's got the proper image size. My afternoon Instagram, same content is set up here. It's got the, it's got this. And if I didn't want to blast out the same, okay, sorry, I'm just reading that. And Anne's note was pretty much this, which is what I'm going over. But if it's unclear, we'll hit back on it. If I didn't want to post the same image out on the same channel on the same day, you know what I mean? Then what I can do now is just drag this over to the next day. I can say this one, actually, I think I'm going to send out on Monday. This one on Instagram is going to go, you know, on Thursday. So I can stagger my messages in a really simple and visual way. Just, and really it would only take, like once you get into the flow of this, it would take maybe like 2-3 extra minutes per post to get it right on each platform. Does that make sense? Jason, what do you think? Do you feel like that process feels okay to you, or does it feel, I mean, it's going to be a little clunky because it involves multiple files and it involves.
I definitely feel I can get the hang of it.
Okay, and then so let's say this is Facebook and not so. As I said at the beginning, I don't think you should send your hashtags to Facebook. It just doesn't look
right.
Like
no, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go to here, we'll just delete out the hashtags and we're going to add in an emoji, which is new. Go Hootsuite.
So funny.
Add in a nerdy for me. Okay. So that's it. And I saved my edits. Really took like 10 seconds. And now my Facebook post is going to look like a Facebook post and not like a, you know, a thing that came in from a different channel.
Right.
Yeah.
Sarah?
So, yeah.
Oh, sorry, just a real quick question. What's a geotag?
Oh yeah, good question. So a geotag tells where an image is. So it's used on Instagram to show. It's used. So if I'm taking a picture at an ice cream shop and posting it, which is a real life reference because one of my recent posts was an ice cream shop. You can tag the, oops, I keep wanting to double click these and it is opening in the side window. So, but you can, so Instagram's not letting me add the geotag here. That's something I could go in later and do. So it would show up right under here. So on Instagram, it would show up with like, if this was the ice cream shop, it would show up like Sweet Cow Ice Cream is a place out here in Denver. So they're useful because then people in your actual area see it a lot more. It changes the algorithm so that people near that area are going to see that more. It becomes another way to search for things. So if you're at a conference I mean, I think this is one of the coolest uses for it. And Cindy, this would really apply to you with your upcoming speeches. If you're at a conference and then you tag the conference, and most, let me show you on Instagram. Give me 1 second. Okay, so on Instagram, if I wanted to go back into, okay, I want to go back into this one with my, with my doggy and bunny. I'm gonna hit the, so if I posted something already that I wanted to add one to, this is what I'm gonna do right now. But if you're posting live and taking pictures, you can do it as part of the process of actually posting. So I'm gonna click the 3 little dots next to my post and just click edit. And then it makes things clickable. So then I'm gonna go up and click where I have Centennial, Colorado. And it says, now it says remove location or change location. I'm gonna change it. And like, so if you're at a conference, it's gonna pop up. It gives you this long list, but you start typing in what the conference name is, and most likely it's going to pull that right up for you because the person who's planning the conference already set it up. If it doesn't, you could, if you're like at Javits Center in New York, you could just bring in Javits Center and that'll do the job as well. But it's better if you could have the actual conference that you're going to. So then you can choose that thing, and then choose whatever conference or whatever group you're at. Fiddler's Green is one here in Denver. So once you choose that, it becomes clickable, and if I go to that feed, I'm going to see all these different things that are tagged there. So it becomes a really great way to, it's like a hashtag in a lot of ways. It becomes a really great way to see who else is at this conference and see what they're posting about, and just make friends with people that are doing the same kinds of things that you're doing, you know? I think I read a stat that I want to say 86% that posts with geotags on Instagram get 86% more engagement. That is my guess of a stat that I read. So I'll follow up. I'm just going to double check that stat, and my follow-up email, I'll just make sure that I confirm that. How much more engagement with geotag? Does that kind of answer the question about why
Definitely.
and what? Okay.
Yeah. Great, thanks.
Yeah, the why is as important as the what in that one, right? Like, why would I tell somebody where I am? It's so creepy. But yeah. Okay, so I've covered most of the things I want to cover here. I did want to talk a little bit about how often to post your content, because I think that sometimes content creators put it out there once and think that it's enough. And it, you know, obviously that is going to depend on your audience. If your audience is incredibly responsive and always right there, you know, but a lot of our audiences are distracted. A lot of our audiences have a lot going on, are balancing a lot of different things. So my recommendation is on Facebook to, you know, you can post a message. I'm going to go to my Facebook to show you what I'm talking about. I can post this message once. All right, we're loaded. Okay, I'm going to post this. I'm going to post this image once, and then I'm going to. Okay, and then so this, obviously the promotion for this, this is over, but if I wanted to post this again, I could post this exact same thing again, or I could make a new image here and post a new image for the same thing. So there's a few different ways that you can post repeatedly about the same thing. So you could do a different image so it looks different to people who are seeing it again. But what I can then come and do is just hide my first post from the timeline. It doesn't delete it, so the engagement that was there for that post is still there. If someone has linked to it or shared it, it's still there. So it's not like it goes away, but it hides from timeline. So then when a new person comes to my page, they don't go like, oh, why are they posting the same thing 900 times? Like, that's pretty obnoxious, you know? So you're hiding your old post from your timeline. Every post, you know, it's gonna look fresh. It's gonna look like a nice fresh post every time. And your best friend might remember, like, dude, you posted that yesterday. But nobody else will, you know, nobody else will. Like, like our messages just come in and out so fast now.
That's
and you're
really
seeing
good point.
so many messages a day. Nobody is going to remember that you post about the same thing multiple times. And you're just going to hit different people every time you do it. So it's worth it especially if you have a big thing you're working on. And then Twitter, similarly, I mean, every message that is worth putting out on Twitter is worth putting out 5 times on Twitter because, oh, hi, Cindy. Your daughter is so pretty. Okay, so this is worth putting out multiple times. And then again, if you wanted to go in, oh no, I can't do it from yours, sorry. I have to go, oh, it's Betty White's birthday. You guys need something to post about today. I'm going to go in with same post and I'm going to say, okay, this is over now, but I want to post about this game, or like I didn't get a lot of engagement on this one. I want to post about this again. I could just delete this tweet, get it out of there, you know? And you should be using this pin to your profile page too, by the way. This is just a side note that's not related to the number of times you should post, but you should do this. And you should also do this. If you know that you have a group that you want to invite people that you tweet with regularly, go ahead and share your tweet via a direct message, because people are so busy. They have so many pieces of content flying at them all the time. That if you don't, you know, really take that time to get the message to them, and yeah, some people might see the message a few times, and you know, if they do, that means they really like you because they're following you on a lot of different channels, right? Like it means that they've found you and they like you and they're a friend or a fan. Your friends don't have to follow your business stuff, you know, but you want to make sure that people that are following your business stuff or your author brand stuff are really finding the content that they want and need and getting the help and support that you're giving them, you know, or the entertainment and fun that you're trying to offer them. So oh, Mary Oliver died, guys. Okay, sorry, Twitter is distracting me, but okay, so that's how I wanted to wrap up. Basically, I can't believe I've talked for almost 2 hours straight, but I think I've shared a lot of tools. And what other questions do you have? Now that we've kind of gone through this, has anything else come up or?
This has all been really, really useful, and the first thing I'm going to do is do the homework on the content. You know, getting that information. The rest, I'm going to send you some follow-up questions, but this has been really, really great. I got to jump and go listen to somebody else's presentation, but I'm going to send you some emails right away. So,
oh, awesome. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you so much,
Have a great afternoon. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, and please send me, I'm like Jason, I'm sure that some of you will have like questions that are popping up now, like, well, why would I do this and not do this or whatever, you know, so just hit me with them because I love it. It's what I'm doing. So send them over. And I'm so grateful for you guys being here today, and just so grateful that I get to have a cool club of cool authors and business people. So thank you. Anything else, or should we say goodbye and have a good afternoon? Okay, I'm gonna wave goodbye.
Sarah, thank you so much. This was so helpful.
You're so welcome. All right, and I'll send you guys the video too, so that you have that after, you know, if you want to look back at any pieces.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, hi Melissa. So yeah, I'll send you the whole thing later. Yeah, or you know, pieces. Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
So, okay, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.